Red Brahman, among the rarest and most valuable cattle breeds on earth. A single champion bull can sell for more than most people earn in an entire lifetime. These ranches in Texas, Louisiana, and Florida have spent generations developing bloodlines that produce the most valuable Red Brahman bulls in the world, commanding prices that shock even experienced cattle buyers. Every champion Red Brahman carries documented bloodlines traced back generations. Their DNA is tested, certified, and registered, making genetics alone determining investment. Champion Red Brahman bulls receive care that rivals professional athletes. Customized nutrition programs, veterinary oversight, and daily health monitoring ensure each animal performs at peak genetic potential. The show ring is where value is confirmed. Judges evaluate conformation, muscling, temperament, and breed characteristics that separate a good bull from a champion worth $500,000. Auction day. Years of breeding and preparation come down to minutes of bidding.
10,555!
Wealthy buyers compete, driving prices to global headlines. When the gavel falls on a champion Red Brahman, the transaction is not just a cattle sale. It is the transfer of genetics, infrastructure, and decades of breeding expertise that cannot be replicated quickly. A single champion bull's genetics extend far beyond one animal. Cryogenic preserved semen from top Red Brahman bulls sells for hundreds of dollars per straw, distributed to breeding programs across 40 countries worldwide. But what makes Red Brahman leather so different that luxury brands pay 3 times more for it than regular cattle leather? The answer is inside this exclusive factory that almost nobody has ever filmed before. Red Brahman leather possesses a distinctive grain pattern created by the breed's unique skin structure. The loose folds that help them regulate heat in tropical climates create a surface texture that leather experts describe as naturally sculpted. Only grade A Red Brahman hides enter this facility. Expert graders examine every centimeter of each hide under specialized lighting, detecting any imperfection that would disqualify it from luxury production. Rehydration begins immediately. Red Brahman hides soak in precisely temperature-controlled water for twinning structure requires longer rehydration than standard cattle to preserve the distinctive grain that makes them valuable. The liming process requires precise calibration for Red Brahman hives. Too aggressive and the unique grain pattern is destroyed forever. Too gentle and hair removal of 15 years to perfect. The fleshing machine reveals the true character of Red Brahman leather for the first time. Watch as excess tissue is removed and the distinctive natural grain of this extraordinary breed becomes fully visible. This facility uses exclusively vegetable tanning for Red Brahman leather, refusing chrome tanning despite its efficiency, but produces leather that develops a richer patina over decades of use. Every Red Brahman hide undergoes 3 separate tanning stages, each building on the previous, creating leather with structural integrity that mass-produced alternatives cannot match. Conducive for Red Brahman leather is to leather specifically for the breed's unique fiber structure. The formula was developed over 12 years of research and is not shared with anyone. What happens in the next stage is the reason this leather sells for $2,000 per square meter. And the luxury brands buying it are names you recognize every single day of your life. The drying room maintains conditions within half a degree of temperature and 2% humidity variation. For Red Brahman leather, this is not optional. Even minor deviations collapse the grain structure permanently and irreversibly. Staking Red Brahman leather requires specialized machine settings developed specifically for this breed's fiber density. Standards the grain pattern. The custom-built machine used here cost $400,000 to develop. Surface buffing on Red Brahman leather uses abrasive compounds made exclusively for this facility. The compounds are changed for every batch because Red Brahman grain varies enough between animals. Red Brahman leather accepts dye differently than standard cattle leather. The unique fiber structure creates deeper, more saturated colors that luxury brands specifically request. Final inspection of Red Brahman leather is performed by just 3 people in this entire facility. Each has spent over 20 years developing the expertise to distinguish between leather worth $2,000 per square meter and leather that does not qualify. Certified Red Brahman leather ships in climate-controlled packaging to luxury manufacturers across Europe. Each roll is accompanied back into the specific bull it came from, including that animal's complete genetic history. Now let us show you what 40 days of processing one of the world's most valuable cattle breeds actually produces, and why every single price tag you are about to see is completely justified by the process you just witnessed.
The master craftsman who creates Red Brahman leather belts here has 40 years of experience and works exclusively with this breed. He can identify Red Brahman leather by touch alone and selects each piece himself, rejecting anything that does not meet his standard.
Red Brahman hides have directional grain. What this craftsman is preparing for the bag lining costs more per square inch than the Red Brahman leather exterior. Stay for the reveal because it is something most people in luxury fashion have never seen used this way. The interior lining is hand-selected Spanish suede from a single tannery that produces fewer than 200 meters annually. This suede costs $1,200 per meter and each bag requires almost half a meter, making the lining alone worth nearly $600. Red Brahman leather wallets present unique construction challenges. The leather's natural thickness variation means each wallet is constructed differently, adapting to the specific hide section used. The finishing treatment uses a conditioning cream formulated specifically for Red Brahman leather chemistry. Applied by hand in circular motions, it penetrates the unique fiber structure. Every finished Red Brahman leather product leaves this facility with a certificate of authenticity that includes the specific bull's registration number, genetic summary, and Pyre's back to the animal it came from.
In exclusive boutiques in New York, Milan, and Tokyo, the Red Brahman leather products from this to sell within hours of arrival. Repeat customers wait months on waiting lists for specific products because production is intentionally limited to maintain quality.
To produce up to 40 offspring annually instead of one.